Ahoy and welcome to Arclay Overcast. In light of the recent developments of the Resident Evil movie reboot, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Not only did the reboot get an official title called Welcome to Raccoon City, but the release date has been pushed back from September to November 24th late this year. With some of the set photos circulating in a recent interview with director Johannes Roberts, I think things are looking up with how the movie looks. But looks can be deceiving. How many times have you seen pictures from an upcoming movie? Or been super excited about a trailer and then suffered a complete devastating letdown from the actual movie? I'm looking forward to this movie, but definitely not getting my hopes up. And with the movie being pushed back to the end of this year, there's plenty of time to talk about it. So I'd like to talk about what I hope the movie will deliver. And then I'd like to know what you hope the movie will deliver. I think it kind of sucks that there's been no mention of a trailer yet, and it doesn't look like we'll get one anytime soon. There's still a lot of secrecy about the movie, which is really annoying, but hopefully it's a sign that the movie's gonna deliver big time. One of the things I thought was a good sign that Johannes mentioned in his interview was that he's a huge John Carpenter fan. While that's definitely a good sign, that's not a promise that this movie's gonna be John Carpenter's Resident Evil. But just look at these pictures. These are very promising as far as 90s nostalgia Raccoon City. Props look great. The STARS helicopter in the Raccoon Forest looks on point. The Spencer Mansion is a little iffy, but I understand that it's probably easier for them to use an existing mansion than build a whole set identical to the mansion in the game. But at the same time, this worries me that very little of the movie is going to be about the first game. And I think the movie overall is going to focus mostly on Resident Evil 2. Johannes even talked about in his interview how much he loved the Resident Evil 2 remake and which direction he was going to go with the movie from there. But with all that being said, I really hope we get to see some of the more iconic moments from the first game, like the first zombie encounter. I know it's probably a tall order to expect the bigger creatures like Yawn and Neptune, but I hope we get to see at least one of my favorite BOWs, the Hunter. I'd also love to see the Chimeras, the Tyrant, and even some Crow action. Or some Craction. I'm not too worried about Cerberus, because I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of those. I hope we don't see any lickers in the mansion, but I do hope to see more than the mansion itself, like the guardhouse, the tunnels, and the lab. And as far as the characters go, the character development, one thing I've always wanted from a Resident Evil movie, something that I would do if I were making the movie, is create a deep, emotional, sympathetic connection to each of the characters and their personal lives. Just for instance, like Barry. I'd love to see more of Barry and his interaction with his family. Also, in the STARS office, we catch a tiny little glimpse of Chris's personal life with that leather jacket hanging on the wall and that guitar next to his desk. Now in the book, it explains that Chris is good friends with Forrest Speyer from the Bravo team. If you look at these two guys, they just scream 90s garage band. The books also explain that Claire loves grunge rock music, and maybe this was an influence that she got from Chris. I mean, I could totally see Chris and Forrest in their own little grungy garage band, maybe playing at the Bar Jack on weekend nights. I mean, it just sounds cool to me. Maybe they were the Big E band. And also in the original game, in the STARS office, Jill has a picture of a young man on her desk, and the caption says that there's a good chance that it's probably her boyfriend. But we don't know anything else about it. Nothing's ever explained about it. In the book, it explains that that picture is a picture of her father, Dick Valentine, who happens to be a master thief and gets himself locked up in prison. But he's also the reason Jill joined the RPD and was able to make the STARS team because of her Master of Unlocking skills that she learned from him. Little personal things like that for each character I think would go a long way. And in my opinion, nothing does a better job of bringing these characters and the original storyline to life than S.D. Perry's Resident Evil book series. So much so that I feel like these books just need to be moviefied. Even her original novels, Caliban Cove and Underworld. These books are just absolutely incredible and very well written. They tie in the storylines so well. like even better than the games do. They tie in everybody's individual character stories. Just fantastic. I only wish I could bring these books to life, make them into movies or films and share them with the world. I promise you wouldn't be disappointed. If not movies, then at least a mini-series. But what do you think about the upcoming movie? And if you've read S.D. Perry's books, what do you think about those? These books are from the late 90s and early 2000s, but do you agree they do a pretty good job of bringing the original storyline and characters to life? Do you agree that they could be turned into good movies or a miniseries? But that's it for now. Just let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.